Hey everybody, Bill Caskey back. We're going live today, and I want to talk about building block number 4, your uniqueness. What is it that makes you unique in the marketplace? You know, we started this here last week, and there are 7 building blocks that I see that are essential. If you're a VP of sales or a CEO, president, you have people and you want to bring forth their best and highest potential. You can't just give them a bunch of sales moves. You can't just say, here, when they say this, you say that, and here's what to say on the cold call. There's got to be a whole transformation that occurs internally. Now, this transformation doesn't have to take months or years, but it has to have some kind of framework to it. So what I'm sharing with you over the last few days and this week are what are those 7 building blocks, because if you can embrace these and change your mindset around these, great things are going to happen. You don't have to have all the clever one-liners and all that garbage. So number 4 today is, what is it that makes you unique? And I find that this is one of the most difficult ones to deploy. We talked about vision last week. We talked about, where are you going in your life? And those are all important things. And sometimes that's difficult too. But this idea of unique, and the problem is that when we're looking at ourselves through our own eyes, we don't think we're that unique. We may think that we have some skills and, we've done pretty well and we've got some talent here or there, but we don't really think of ourselves as unique. And that's the exercise today, is to start thinking, where is it that you are irreplaceable? And this doesn't come from a place of arrogance. This comes from a place of, you are 1 in 7 billion. No one has your experience. No one has your talent exactly like you have. I'm not saying there aren't more talented people. I'm not saying there aren't people with more experience, but there is no one that has the exact experience you've had with the exact talent, the exact framework, and the exact upbringing, the exact experience. I mean, think about all the facets of uniqueness. And when you combine those and stack those, nobody measures up to you. They just don't. And again, this is not anti-Christian. It's not satanic at all. It's just, you have unique experiences. In fact, if you're a Christian and follow God, I believe that God gave us certain facets of who we are that are unique, that only we have. And so I want to talk about that today. It could be your unique framework. Maybe you have a unique framework that you apply to situations that you've learned over the years. Maybe this framework has to do with you never seek to solve a problem until you first understand a problem. That could be a unique framework. Is it unique? Does nobody do that? Of course not. People do it. But again, we're looking to stack these things. Number 2, your specific expertise or knowledge in the niche that you're in. Number 3, your personality and your communication style. How you communicate is really important today. It's not just what you communicate, it's how. And, I shoot a lot of these videos, and I look back sometimes in the videos that I've shot and I think, God, I was off today. That was terrible. But I try to get better. I try to think, what was it that caused that to be so dreadful? And say, okay, well, I'm going to make it a point to not do that anymore or do more of that. So this whole idea of communication is really important. How do you communicate? That is one thing that makes you unique. Here's one thing that we talk about quite a bit in our coaching is your story. Whenever I go into a company and work with their team, I want each person on that team to be able to relay a story. And you can't relay a story if you don't have the story. And sometimes it takes a little plumbing and a little digging and excavation to find out, well, what is your personal story? But that's unique. If you can get the methodologies and the framework and the knowledge and your story right, that's awesome. And then what's the specific transformation you can create for clients? It could be, like in my business, if a CEO or a VP of sales calls me in and says, hey, what can you do for your team? I will say, I will create space for your people to unlock their potential. I don't unlock people's potential. You unlock your own potential. You VPs of sales and sales managers, you can be an aid along the way. You can be a part of that unlocking and part of that equipping and part of that helping your team to realize that they have so much more to offer and so much more potential without working harder. I'm not talking about grinding away an extra 20 hours a week. I'm not talking about that. But when you think about the specific transformation you help people get to and achieve, that's unique. Even if everybody else in your industry does the same thing, but if you're the only one talking about it, or talking about it in the way that you and only you can talk about it, that's unique. So I want you to think here about why you and not someone else. And you can be a little, I don't think pride's the right word, but you can be pleased with yourself here. Say, look, like in my world, one part of my story, which you all know, or some of you know, is I had a problem with alcohol in my 20s. I spent 30 days in rehab, and I've spent the last 30 some years in recovery. And I don't go to AA meetings every day, but I did when I first started because I knew I needed help. I knew I couldn't do it alone. At least that's what the reading said, and I agree with that. But that's a part of me and my past that I wouldn't trade for anything. I mean, I never got seriously injured. I never died, believe it or not. Died on the inside. But I would not trade that for anything in the world, that experience and the recovery. And a lot of the things that you hear me talk about are from the recovery system. Not all, but some. And so I think our stories, now if you were in jail for a period of time, I'm not sure I would lead with that story with the prospect, hey, look, 5 years ago I was in the state pen. Probably wouldn't lead with that. But think about all the things that make your story unique. Don't run from them. Embrace them. Be judicious about when you share them. But there's a lot of things that you can share in your personal story that really helps to proclaim that uniqueness. If you have not yet downloaded the 12 Bold Moves audiobook, go to 12boldmoves.com/audiobook. It's free. It's 12 of what I think are the coolest strategies to help you grow your business. We're going to be doing a webinar here on the 26th. We've moved it back a few weeks, but we are going to be doing it on the 26th. So, but only people, at least our plan is only people who have downloaded the book. If we find that we don't have enough of those people, we'll probably open it up to the world. But at least get your 12 Bold Moves book. 12boldmoves.com/audiobook. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.